Welcome everyone to the new live session with H&N. My name is Xavier Arbe, and I'm the Managing Director of H&N International. As you can see, I'm not Juliana. She usually is the host of this event, but unfortunately, she was not feeling good yesterday, also today either. So sorry, guys. It's just only going to be me. So today we are going to have another live session. In this case, we have a special deep interview with somebody that is close where I am right now. She is Dr. Yuwares Ruangpanit. She is professor here in Bangkok, in Thailand, and in the University of Kasesa University, and she is going to talk a little about key aspects about layer nutrition in this area of the world where there are challenges of weather management and also different raw materials compared to the other places. So before I forget, and you have to excuse me because I'm not the one that used to make these kind of things. I was long time ago that I didn't have to host myself one of these events. But I want to remember to all our audience, please, that if you have any question, post it there in the sections of questions. And if there is any challenge, any technical issue with LinkedIn, there will be a backup broadcast available in our H&N YouTube channel. So if you are not able to see us in LinkedIn, or you can see us also in YouTube, so be sure that you can follow us and don't miss anything of what Dr. Yuwares is going to tell us. So let's introduce the first question that we always make to our guests. It's always the good one and the one that we love to break the ice and to know better about the person.
When I was young, I like fried eggs. When I'm getting older, I change to the onsen one. I think it's easier and healthier.
Well, I have to say that in my case, I have to share with the audience that when I was young, the fried egg was a must. As some of you know, I'm originally from Spain, so especially in the early mornings, it was fried egg was something early morning. It was very nice, and I would give a tip to make the fried egg a little bit healthier, and is to use some olive oil. However, it is an expensive option. Depends on where you are, but if you live, if you live in a country that is producing good olive oil, it's quite interesting and it's a healthy choice. But yeah, not always, not everybody can have this option. So saying that one, I think is the time to go for our second question. And we ask Dr. Yuwares about the most common challenges then when she finds when visiting farmers.
And sometimes I formulate the diet, and what make more problem is the laying hen that is not get into a very good uniformity. Starting at the very beginning during the pullet period, because Thailand is in the tropical region. So sometimes we couldn't manage the pullet to have the feed intake into the standard. So that actually affect the uniformity, and later on it could actually affect egg production and also the egg quality. Especially during the late laying cycle, it could actually affect the eggshell quality and the bone quality. So that is pretty much the problem. Regarding the pullet that not very uniform or underweight, sometimes when they get into the laying cycle and they move the pullet, some of them actually increase the light hours and the density, so that they would actually help to encourage the bird to eat more, and that would actually lead to some problem during the peak production periods as well. Some of them actually entering into the fatty liver problem. Another things that I think is would be good in order to prevent, monitor the feed intakes also, in order to estimate the absolute energy intake per day that match to the egg production. So it's not easy for some company or some integrated company that they not change the diet. Sometimes they don't change the diet from like a layer 1 to layer 2 because they think, okay, the egg production is still high, so we keep the energy is a little bit higher, so I can push the egg production forward because the genetic allow to do that. But sometimes higher energy diet could actually increasing the evidence of the fatty liver.
Well, Dr. Yuwares has mentioned very important challenges in the farms and in the egg production. I mean, uniformity and feed intake in pullets, it's a big challenge, I would say. And I would add that one of the key factors of achieving that feed intake and uniformity is the feeder space. The farmers make a business choice. And for different reasons, they always like to squeeze the investment that they have done in houses. So that means that they tend to add 1 or 2 birds more per cage. And in hot climates, sometimes those decisions are a disaster because the farms are not ready. There is no feeder space, so it's difficult to achieve the goals that we are setting as a genetic company from the point of view of the body weight, feed intake, and uniformity. No, so you want more birds, but you don't make them more feel comfortable, so they don't perform. So at the end, it's and then everyone gets very nervous and trying to find solutions, and sometimes it's just a business decision taken of putting more 1 or 2 birds more per cage. And the other one that I think she highlights also in that aspect in the feed intake and the data collection for making analysis. I mean, as any nutritionist or any technical person who goes into the farms, it's very important to have good quality of the data and also have the possibilities to analyze. No, and as a nutritionist, as she mentions, if you have data, you can make a good, accurate diets, and the feed intake is key to understand how good is the feed that you are making. If you don't have the feed intake data, the nutritionist is blind about the success of what they are going to do. So at this matter of data collection and analysis, I invite our audience to take a look on our Kai software. It's a unique software who can help in this matter and much more. I mean, it's important. It's an important tool that is unique, as I mentioned, because it allows to control the management of the task and everything in the farm. So based on that situation, I think let's continue with another common mistakes or something that she highlights in this case when reviewing layer diets.
Sometimes they miss
In the tropical climate. Sorry.
Sometimes they miss management of the water because in some farm they would have a tank that they load the water in there, and sometimes that tank is actually exposed to the sunlight, and that could be one reason that the bird is refused to drink the high temperature waters, and that could actually also affect the intake at the end as well.
Well, how many times we have talked about the water, and as she says, we forget about it. Hens don't like water above 27 degrees. And if they don't drink, they don't eat, they don't lay. And I know, I mean, some places in Asia, for example, there is a culture of drinking warm water. And it is fine. For us, it is fine. But for the hens, we need fresh water. Just imagine that our hens are doing exercise when they are in active, when the lights are on. And during that exercise time, we need to provide them cool water. If not, they are not going to perform. And therefore, I think it's part of all these tropical climates and situations. We need to be sure that the birds are having cool water. And as I said, no more than 27, but also not cooler than 22. Okay, we need to keep that one in that kind of situation. So let's continue, and in that aspect, we want to talk also about the common mistakes that she notices when reviewing the layer diets.
If we talk about the big integrated company, they're probably gonna have the QC procedure very good. I mean the QC for the feed ingredient, but for the medium size and the smaller size of the laying hen production, sometimes they don't have the laboratory to evaluate the feed ingredient quality. So sometimes they get the low quality of the feed ingredient into the production size, and then when we formulate the diet without the real nutrient value that we actually get from the lab. So sometimes it kind of over the specification, or sometimes under, so it can show like even for actually the under nutritional feed ingredient, it could actually lead to some problem of the egg production and egg weight, and also the egg quality.
Well, I mean, big challenges for the egg producers, it's always going to be the quality of the raw materials. No, you must make diets with no information when you don't have that kind of situations. No, so as we mentioned, I mean, as she mentioned, it can cost a lot of problems, and indeed a lot of money. No, so it is money well spent whenever we can get information and understanding what you are buying. No? If not, you play with fire. You are buying things that you don't know what they have. And the saying says that if you play with fire, you get burned. No? And there are a lot of farmers or egg producers around the world that they are getting burned because they don't know what they are buying, and they don't know the good QC from the point of view of the raw materials. So in that aspect, we continue with the interview of Dr. Yuwares, and in this point, we are going to ask her about interesting research that she's working on.
I think because of the genetic of the laying hen nowadays, that they can extend a very high egg production during the laying cycle. So most of the time, a problem that we found is the egg problem during the late laying cycle, and that is some kind of project that we actually have going on at our university. How can we manage the laying hen in order to improve the eggshell quality during the late laying cycle? At the same time, we can maintain the bone quality, because of the sellable eggs is something that we're looking for at the end of the production. So I think this is something that we're actually doing.
Well, I mean, we really welcome the effort of the key opinion leaders like Dr. Yuwares that are working in the late production of layers. You don't see so much people doing these kind of things, and it isn't easy. And also, we need to be very patient because we need to wait for a long time. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Yuwares. And please, all of you, don't hesitate in contacting us if you are interested on doing research about this topic on long-lasting production and testing different things in hens. I mean, we are looking forward to find partners and to learn more together, because hey, it's not easy to get information of at these kind of trials. So definitely we really welcome ideas, and also people who wants to work with us. We are always open. So I think it's time for a break. I don't know, bio break, coffee break. Let's go ahead. Hello and welcome back to everybody to live sessions with H&N. I want to remind you that today we have a recorded interview to learn more about nutrition with Dr. Yuwares from Thailand. She's sharing her knowledge and long experience making layer diets and visiting different customers in the region. So we have had a very interesting opinions and ideas that she has shared so far. Let's continue with the interview. And it's time to ask Dr. Yuwares is for the most fascinating advances that she has witnessed in the industry.
I think the genetic improvement of the laying hen, because I starting to work with the laying hen more than 30 years ago, actually, in the undergrad class, and also my master degree, I work with the laying hen. So I see a lot of change in the potential of the laying hen, on the way that it can give higher egg production with the high quality and also very consistent in terms of the quality. So I think the genetic improvement is something that I think is drive everything. So in order to, for me, like I'm a nutritionist, so I have to work accordingly to allow the bird to maximize their potential of the genetic in terms of giving the egg production and also giving a good quality of the egg.
Well, I mean, longevity. We keep working on that longevity that she's talking about. In H&N, we are aiming the 120 weeks in one single cycle. So that, yeah, I mean, the industry of the egg production is already changing. But I mean, as all the advances and all the research that we are working, this is something that is going to continue. So technical people, be ready to think about solutions in nutrition, in health for this kind of hens that they are going to be in production until 120 weeks. For the farmers, get ready to invest more in the pullets. But also you need to think about it that you are going to need less pullets in general because you are going to keep them more more longer in production. So for our distributors, I have to tell you, no good news because you are going to sell fewer chicks, fewer pullets, because the farmers are going to keep the hens in longer production. So I'm sorry, we are in some kind of self-destruction business. I don't know if it's a good definition. But okay, we will keep improving that part and trying to amaze Dr. Yuwares. So in that aspect, it's time to talk a little bit more about research and the kind of research that she would like to see more often published.
There's a lot of research that have been done using many kind of feed additive in order to help the laying hen to be able to maximize the egg production and maintain the egg quality. But for me, I also work in the university as a researcher. Also, I work as a consultant for the commercial company. So I would like to see some research that actually can give the information that guide us the way to solve the problem after it's occurred. For example, we use a lot of corn in our diet. And most of the time, corn has some mycotoxin contaminated, for example, alpha toxin. So if some of the company or the farm couldn't analyze the exact level of the alpha toxin and finally it's actually contaminated into the diet, I would like to see some research that actually guide us what is the best way or the fastest way to recover a certain kind of problem that actually occur, tell us the way that we actually can follow up this procedure and we can restore everything back to normal very fast and very efficient. I would like to see that, because most of the time we spend a lot of time doing the research that have economic return on that. I think I would like to see something like that.
Well, that is an interesting idea. Troubleshooting trials. When a problem happens, we make a trial about it. I think we might have a problem with the welfare committee of the university because we have to create troubles to the birds. But I think it makes sense. First of all, we have to say is that the prevention is the best way to work to avoid problems. Yeah, but problems happens. We need the knowledge and a science-based way to work to avoid these problems, or at least to find solutions when the problems are happening. No? And again, thinking about how long the birds are going to be there. Yes. As I said, we need to work in the prevention, but we know the variation of the raw materials, the different challenges, not only biosecurity, diseases, neighbors that they have challenges and they are coming to us. So, I think it could be interesting to have this kind of approaches. When I have a case of X, this is the best thing that works, knowing that many times it's going to be a patch, it's going to be about time, or sometimes we cannot do much about it, no? So I think, as I said, very interesting concept to think about it. And again, if somebody wants to partner with H&N on doing this kind of trials, we're really happy to put our part in these kind of things and see what we can develop. Well, that was the question about it. And usually we have one last question before we finish, and is that we ask our guest a recommendation for any book that, in this case, she has recently read.
I like to read the metabolic disorder for poultry, because I actually work with the nutrition a lot, and sometimes I know less about the infection disease, but most of the time for laying hen we found some problem of the metabolic disorder because the mismanagement in terms of the nutrition and sometimes feeding or even the management in the farm. So I like that one. I read a lot, and I found it's very useful for me in some certain cases that I can get the idea and solve the problem from the root of the problem.
Well, nice recommendation, no? We need to always learn the basics. Sometimes it's it's important to understand the root of the causes that she mentions and to find the solutions for a better production. No? So understanding the basis can allow us to have a more clarity when we are trying to find solutions. And I think could be a good, I think it's a good recommendation. And I'm going to take some notes. Let me take a pen. So we can think about it, and going back to the basics, and perhaps visit some of the books of the university or some libraries, but now everything is digital, but nevertheless. Okay, so that was our last question. So I want to really thank Dr. Yuwares for sharing her knowledge and the investigations with us. It's always really nice to hear from her. So also I want to thank everybody that you've been here with me in this presentation. But wait a bit. We still have the question and answers. And I think we have already some questions that they are passing it to me. So let me check what is the first questions that we are having. Okay, first question. I'm sure that I'm going to do some mistakes with your names, so sorry about it. let's go. Evans Anfo Oten is asking, we feed our birds 4 tons of feed in a month. In order to save on transport cost and price hikes, what is a quite a good approach, we prepare 4 tons of the feed at once and we store for to be used during that month. Does this affect the quality of the feed? Well, I have to say is that everything depends on how you preserve those 4 tons. Definitely from the beginning when the start that you are going to produce this feed, first it needs to be well packaged, sealed. No direct light should go to the feed, and also you have to keep it in a temperature that is not really very hot. Because when it's hot, then when it gets warm, you are going to start having problems of growth of the bacteria and also some oxidation that can affect the integrity of the nutrients of the raw materials. No, definitely you can put some preservatives. So a must, it would be some antioxidants to preserve the fats and avoid the oxidation. And the other one is also you can put some organic acids, especially propionic acid would be the choice to control the growth of molds that usually based on the water availability, the water availability in the feed, molds, if the temperature is there, are going to be the first one that they are going to grow. No? Then later on, if you keep it for longer time and the moisture of the feed or the environment is high, you are going to start having some growth of enterobacteria. So then for that one, perhaps you need to combine the propionic acid with some I forgot the acid. Formic acid. Yeah, formic acid. Sorry. And so that was a combination that said like first try to preserve the feed in good packaging, good conditions, and then some additives, some preservatives to keep the quality. I mean, when we do feed, also from the research, usually you can keep the feed for 2 months, but definitely you need to preserve it in good conditions. Okay, that was that now comes an even more difficult name, Njaka Rahason, I guess, has a question and is asking about layer and layer breeders are often affected by necrotic enteritis. And there may be a relationship between the enteritis and the protein level in the food, in the feed, I guess. What rate is therefore acceptable so that is not those pose a problem of enteritis? I don't think there is a research in layers telling you how much of protein level you have specifically. I mean, one of a good experts in layer nutrition, I remember what he told me the first time is that the protein is something that is not for the hens, is for the nutritionists. No, what the hens need are amino acids. So I would say is that I mean if you are really struggling with necrotic enteritis in laying hens or layer parent stock, the first thing I would do is checking the quality of the raw materials because at the end for having necrotic enteritis you need Clostridium. And that Clostridium, one of the sources could be the water and also could be the raw materials. No? So the first thing I would say is check the raw materials and the levels of Clostridium. You can make some testing. There is one testing analytical of microbiology that is checking and counting the anaerobes sulfite or reducers at 46 degrees. So it would be good to check that one in the raw materials. And after that, I mean, the way of reducing the amount of crude protein in the diets, in the nitrogens, but the nitrogen in the diet is about using synthetic amino acids and raw materials that, I mean, and with that one, we can use more variety of raw materials and have a more feed raw materials with excesses of crude protein. I want to invite you, Rajason, to read our technical tip feed insights, where we have done recently some trials of low crude protein diets in commercial hens. And you will see that you really can go low in the levels of crude protein without affecting the performance because the levels of amino acids were properly balanced. So let's see if there is any more questions. I'm trying to check, but it seems today Juliana is not here and there's not many questions. So everyone is already going on vacation for tomorrow. I guess that many of you might have tomorrow free day. So perhaps people is already packaging or already in the cars going somewhere. Let me check if there is anything else, but it seems that today we don't have too many questions, but it's okay. We are always here to hear from you, ready to hear from you, and I hope you have enjoyed today's interview with Dr. Yuwares, and thank you, Dr. Yuwares, again for sharing your knowledge. And the investigations, because I mean, you are doing a very interesting research as we have seen. Thank you for the audience for the questions, and I hope you have a good long weekend. And please stay tuned because most probably at the end of May we will come back with another live session with H&N. Thank you very much and have a good day.